Hi everyone, Nuno here and welcome back to Grimoire. And since the last episode, let me show you guys what I've been doing and what has happened on Grimoire by itself. Now, the first thing I did was, and having in mind that we had a high demand, I'm not going to say very high, but we had a high demand for industries. I've decided to create a new district inside Crescent, and it's called Crescent Office Valley. So it's kind of like a Silicon Valley, if you want to say it that way. So all of these, in this district, there's only offices. You guys can see in here, we have a ban for high raise, and then we have like, basically the same thing we have for the entire region, only a high raise ban and the lightning rods. There's a little bit of commercial zones in here, not that many, I mean 2-3 buildings maybe, but overall it's, as you guys can see, there's a lot of industries, of course, offices in here. I've also placed some Rico buildings like this one in here, a data mining agency. I've also placed this one in here. Well, it has a different name, but it was placed on Rico. This one also, the Woodlock Architects. And this one in here, the Mustard Inc. Another thing I built in here was an hospital, so we have now an hospital. I don't think we have that much demand for it, because as you guys can see, we do not have that many patients being treated. But if you want to see in the entire Crescent area, we only have like a small clinic in here, but overall the hospital will be, well, it's working on the entire Crescent area, which it's okay, I guess. It's not that bad. We also placed the buzz line, so the Crescent buzz line also will stop around here, as you guys can see. It's like a small loop or roundabout in here. So there's a stop near the hospital, there's one near the data mining, and one basically at the entrance near the parks or the plazas we have in here. Overall, it's a very simple thing. Also, there's a highway connection for this section. As you guys can see, it's an underground tunnel. It's not great, to be honest. If you guys want to see, there's like a huge slope in here, so it's very, yeah, it's not very realistic, to be honest. But I mean, a car really is, the cars, they really struggle coming up this way, or they really have to be careful when they go down this way. But either way, it's, I mean, it's okay. I guess we could have done it a little bit better. Maybe I will do it a little bit better. Just try to work it out later on. But overall, that's one of the biggest parts in here in this section. Let me just go this way. I think this way it shows better the industry valley that we have, the offices, and along that part we have, of course, this one. Oh, of course, I forgot to say, we have this huge parking spot or parking lot being used only by one car. Yeah, there's only one car using the parking, this huge parking spot, but yeah, that's how it works. But yeah, overall it's not that bad, it's not that great. There's still enough space for growing up, you know, there's like this fence around here, but we can grow it up easily. And yeah, not that bad at all. And that was basically what I've done here on Crescent. Now, nearby on Amulet Hills, I've decided to build, and this is not looking that very good, to be honest. This is a big commercial, there are too many big commercial shops. So let me just see if I can I ban iris ban? Yes. Maybe I should have done something else, I don't know. Anyways, I've decided to create a small town for the people that are living or that are nearby Amulet Hills, that work nearby Amulet Hills. So it's a really small town. There aren't that many people living in here. So if you can see, we have like 234 people living in Amulet Hills. This is definitely an industrial area, but I've decided to create this small part in here. Maybe I will make it grow somewhere. I would not want to grow this way because, as you guys can see, this is a very fertile part. There's a lot of resources in here. But yeah, it's pretty much it around here. I don't want to grow them up into the mountains. That does not make any sense at all. Another thing I did, and you guys can see in here, I've decided to work out a little bit on my train lines. Now there's a connection, direct connection, if you don't want to stop in this train stop or in this cargo depot. And I have to check if everything in here is working. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen, since I created this new line, or I changed this line, I have not seen any cargo train coming this way. And that is kind of strange, to be honest. Now there's this. Let me just pause this and see this cargo. Okay, this is going to Saddle Oil. So it will stop here. Does it have... Is it something to do with this train? I don't know. Okay, will it go back? And then it goes to Lakefields. Okay, so it's... I don't know. Honestly, I do not know what is happening, but I think this connection is not working properly, and I do not know I do not know why. It should be working. It seems like everything is connected, and it seems like everything is working properly. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Now you can see. Definitely now you can see it. Wait, I just clicked on the wrong track. Okay, let me go this way. Let's build this together with this. There you go. Now this should work. Should work properly, I guess. Let's go here. How is electricity going by this area? Doesn't seem very good, does it? Can it... I need diner key probably, right? Yeah, the train is going to destroy this, but that's okay. We can increase these ones a little bit, so that's okay. Kind of like this big thing in here. Is it okay? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, it's okay. All right, so now we have a connection, and probably it's gonna work well. So as you guys can see, instead of going outside this way, I just decided to make it a little bit inside. It could have done it even more inside in here, but yeah, that's okay, I guess. For now, it still gives enough space for growing up some stuff in here if required or if needed. But other than that, I have done nothing more in here when it comes to the train lines. I didn't do any kind of increasing or anything like that. Regarding Victoria, I started the expansion of Victoria, so there's like new roads and probably new neighborhoods will be born really soon. I mean, there's one new neighborhood right now in here. There's a new commercial district or commercial zone, basically. There's potential for something else around here. There's also these underground or under the highway street that connects to Westbrook. So there's two connections of Westbrook. They're not that far apart, but yeah, it's good. It takes out some of the traffic around here, hopefully. So that's okay. Also, I created this small section in here, this small district called Little Brook. It's called Little Brook because it's really a little. district nearby Brook. I was going to call this East Brook, but the fact is I want to use this area probably to create East Brook. So East Brook is going to be probably around this area. There will be an East Brook. I don't know how I'm going to do the connection to the highway. Probably I could use this highway in here, connected it somewhere around here, and definitely have another highway connection that would go inside. So people wanting to go, or if people want to go to Brook, they go in here. If they want to go to East Brook, maybe I could do some underground tunnel in here also. I don't know. There's a lot of options that we can do later on. But what I did was Little Brook, and as you guys can see, there's like this small neighborhood with Rico houses. So these are all identical houses I placed with Rico. Each house has like 2 households, so overall I can tell you guys that Little Brook has around 194 people living in it, but there's like a community school, so that's like an elementary school. You have a small police station, you also have a clinic, so you have the basic things, or the basic needs for the entire place. You also have 2 small commercial zones, so you have like a pharmacy or a commercial building, and then you have this other one. This one does not look that good, you know, to have like this high raise or this higher building, but yeah, it is what it is. Of course, you also have this small park. I need to replace the names or change the names of these things. Eventually, we could even work a little bit more in this section and create a little bit more neighborhood. So we could increase Little Brook. All right. Other things that I did was, and that took a long time, was to work out the entire transportation entire system that we have for transport. So bus lines are completely different. They're completely new. As you guys can see, there's now different names. So we have Brook Line. Brook Line are basically lines that work inside Brook. There may be some connections with Victoria Town, but overall they're mostly inside Brook. So we have Brook Line 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. If I close this, okay, we can see this way. So as you guys can see, most lines, so Brook Line 1 gets out of the central station and it goes to basically Evergreen. It stops around here. It does not go to Evergreen Park, but if you want to go to Evergreen Park, eventually you can take the tram that goes that way. So yeah, that's one way. So that's the first line. Then we have line number 2 that goes to Westbrook, but it goes to the south section of Westbrook. It's not that big of a line, but yeah, it stops on a few places. I'm not really expecting that many people using this line. In fact, if we go here, we have like 72 people using it. I even think we have too many buses for the amount of people using it. But the buses we are using, they're low capacity buses, so they're like 60 people overall. But this bus stop does not. It would only, because it only transports 72. I guess we could keep it with around 2, maybe 3 buses instead of 5. But that's okay. It may grow up eventually in the future. We also have this green line. This one has a lot of people, mostly in here near the university. As you guys can see, I've added 10 buses. There are like 10 buses using this line, and a lot of people in here because it's nearby college, so why not? So it goes from Central Station. After Central Station, the first stop is here on College, and then it goes to Victoria Town and it stops on the train station. So I definitely understand that this connection, or this Victoria Brooktown connection will have a lot of people moving on. But yeah, that's one of it. Also, we have this other smaller line, which is the Northwest Brook. It doesn't have that many stops. Also, it stops in here nearby the college. Also, you have like you could say a walking distance, but it kind of covers this section around here. Is that smoke? Yeah, it's smoke, but I don't think it's fire. And it also goes to Central Station. So Central Station is where all the buses from Brooktown will get out. Now on Victoriatown you have also different bus lines. They don't have like a central station or anything like that, but they kind of all stop nearby the train station. So you have this one that connects to Brook, and then you have two Victoria lines. You have this one, which is kind of like a loop, a north loop line. So it goes all around here. I'm not anticipating it to be very with many people using it, but yeah, it does have that much. And then we have this yellow line, which is, I think this is Victoria Line 1. This one connects this school to nearby the train, and then it goes all the way to Saddle Oil Park. So instead of going up and down, it just goes down, because this section in here is where most of the workers will work around. So yeah, this is the main focus around here. Maybe I should have done a different, or we could do a different line, maybe Victoria Line 3, that goes also from nearby the train station, and it goes to the cargo depot. But once again, this is a cargo depot. It does not need that many people. And this other section in here, it doesn't have that many people working in here. So yeah, it's not yet that much of a need. Eventually, I may need, or I may use another bus line around here that would connect probably around these neighborhoods, and we will see. One of the things I've done in here was simplify the entire bus lines. Instead of being too complicated, I've decided to make it simple. Making it simple is the best thing. Now we have this blue line in here, which is all the blue lines. They're called airlines. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this means it's a regional line, so it connects to distinct districts. So we have this one that goes from Brook to Crescent Pine. So basically it connects Brook to Crescent Pine. It's a line. This one is one of the most used lines. We have 10 buses working it out, and we have like 344 people using it. So that's crazy. And then we have the other one that goes from Crescent to Amulet Hills. So I've decided to create a line that goes from here, from Crescent. As you guys can see, it kind of goes from Crescent, the train station. It does a loop in here because it has to turn around, and it stops nearby a school, an elementary school, and then it goes to Amulet Hills, where it stops near the factory, and then it goes to town. Very simple line, nothing too fancy, but it is used, not with many people, but it has some uses. And then the Brook Crescent Hill, now it stops near the train station, then stops at the town center, kind of like the small town center, and then it goes this way. It stops near these farms. There are a lot of people in here, so these are probably the workers that work on the farm. So it stops in these farms in here, so it's not that bad. Then it goes all the way. It stops near these other section. It does not. Oh, it has a lot of people to go that way. Not that many in this section. So it stops here. In here you have nearby connections with these with bus line 1, Brook bus line 1, and you could even, it's a more of a residential zone. It also stops around here in this more commercial zone of Brook. Then it stops in here near this garden-ish place, and it then goes to the Central Station. So this, I've considered this one original one because it definitely connects Brook to Crescent Pine. But maybe I should not change it because it was first, as you guys can see, there's there's like Brookline 1, 2, then goes to 4, 5, 6, because this one was known as Brookline 3 when I created it. I decided to change it to regional line, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it that way. The other one that I did change the line was the bus line. Let me just check it out. This one, the bus line from Crescent Hills. Now, this bus line has a lot of things going on. Now, the first thing, of course, is where it starts and where it ends. So this bus line will work around here. So it starts on, well, it doesn't matter where it starts, but basically it connects the train station to Crescent Office Valley. It then connects to some sections in Crescent, like this residential section, or in the early phases of this residential, so it connects pretty much around here. Then you have this other stop that connects around this other section. Then it goes down to the higher density zone, so you have these ones in here with offices and commercial. You also have a stop around here near the Rosewood Park. You continue. I think these are the. I think this is the only place where you have like it works. That the bus line also drives around with the tram. Then I've decided to change. Instead of continuing on the tram, I decided to go on the other side. So it has a lot. It makes a lot less traffic, hopefully. So in here it stops nearby this commercial residential area. I think this is residential, I'm not really sure. And it continues on this section, because this section wasn't getting that much bus lines. So it stops here, and then it turns around in this other section. Now, as you guys can see, there's another line, another green line, and this is the tram. I did change the tram a lot. So in here, now we have an intersection between the green tram line and the red tram line. So this is an exchange. So people working or using the red line, they can exchange to the green line in here. Also, the red line has an exchange somewhere else. I'll show you guys that later on. In here, the green line will stop. Basically, it has the same kind of stops it had before. So it stops in here. It continues to stop wherever it is. But the turnaround, instead of turning around in here, I've decided to continue the tram line. So it would continue this way, stop nearby the elementary school. So this is a bus, a tram line that hopefully has more people than the other places. And eventually it stops around here, the tram line. It stops around here in this residential area. This one I'm not expecting to have many people, because this is also like the terminal line. And then it turns around in this kind of roundabout and goes back. And that was basically it regarding Crescent, and regarding the bus lines. Bus lines are complete, and tram lines are the last thing I did. So the green line, we already saw what I've done in here. The red line, it's pretty much the same, only that there's this turnaround, and it has a stop, a tram stop in here. A lot of people in here waiting for the red tram. So there are people that came from the green one, so they came from Crescent tram line, and now they're going to Evergreen, the red line. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of people going to the red one. There's a lot of people. Maybe I should bring more red tram lines. Okay, more red trams. Either way, the red tram line stops in Little Brook, and it stops here at this Evergreen office area near the cargo depot. And it stops in this other area, and finally it stops at the Evergreen factory. So this one is the place where you can exchange lines to the purple line. Now the purple line, I did not change anything in the purple line. I was thinking about changing the way that you cross over from Evergreen Park to Brook and eventually Westbrook. but definitely this is the best way. And now that we don't have buses moving around in here, and we don't have a tram stop around here, so I did change where the tram stops, so we don't have a tram stop around here. So that's that's one part of it. Because of that, I think that the traffic is a bit better, and so the purple line will start in the Evergreen factory, then it stops in this commercial area, stops nearby the high school. So we have this Brook High School. Then it stops near this kind of residential area or high density area, I think, and definitely nearby the university. So this is a tram line that I'm hoping it has a lot of people using it also. Not as many as I thought. Then it stops in this other residential commercial, no, this is a commercial area, this small commercial area. That it stops in this other area, so it's not that far away. Maybe I could erase one of these stops, and then it definitely stops near the Westbrook. It's the final station, so it stops near the Westbrook train station. And that's it. That was it. That's everything I've done in the past few days since since the last video. A lot of things still need to be done. A lot of things still need to grow up. I'm hoping that on the next episode we start growing up a bit more our city. Crescent is pretty much done. I'm not sure if I'm going to grow up Crescent that much more. I mean, we still have enough space in here, so we could grow up Crescent a little bit more. But having in mind that we have like a huge demand for residential right now, I think this is the time that we should, start growing up to Eastbrook. So Eastbrook is the new project. So, and it's a good project, because what's going to happen right now is with Eastbrook, by developing Eastbrook around this section in here, Eastbrook will be the connection between Brook and Grimoire downtown. So Grimoire, which is like the city center or the main district, will be around this section, and you will have the downtown somewhere in here, and then you will have like Grimoire north, south, east, west. I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of Grimoire sections in here, and before going to Grimoire, which will eventually end up, our final destination will be Grimoire City. There will be more stuff going on. Of course, there's going to be a lot of episodes. So before going there, we will need to grow, or we will need to create Eastbrook. We have Little Brook in here. We have Brook. We have Westbrook. We have Victoria. We could call Victoria in here. That's okay. We could go with North. We could even go Northbrook. But I don't like it. So Eastbrook is definitely the way we have to go. And to connect to Eastbrook, I'm thinking about doing a highway tunnel that will connect to Eastbrook. One way, that's one way. The other way is, of course, using these other highways. So I think that at least I have everything planned, and everything is kind of ready for the next step, for the next moment of the growth of this city growth. And hopefully everything is going to be fine, and we're going to grow up this city as much as possible, and we will reach a big number. Also, another thing that's going to happen in Grimoire public transportations, we are going to work with subways eventually. I know subways are not that pretty to watch or to look, but that's something we're going to do. I'm not sure if we're going to use monorails. We could use them, but I'm not really sure. And we're going to have to use ships and airplanes. So that's something we still have to grow. We still have to build in our city. We can, but it's not yet ready. I think that whenever we start building Grimoire, we're going to have an airport and all that stuff. Also, a lot of things that we still need to do in here. We need to build, I'm thinking about building an amusement park, and also maybe a zoo, and of course a natural reserve. I want to build all of them nearby. I don't know. I really don't know where I'm gonna build them, but maybe we could build something around here. This section around here. Yeah, that's something to look around, to look forward. And of course, when it comes to commercial, when it comes to industries, we still have to explore our ore industry and of course the oil industry. And there's something else. I know there's like postal. I could also work around with. Let me see if there's. Yeah, I think there's like postal offices or something like that. That's also something I wanna look into and probably try it out. Anyways, guys, this video is already way too long. I was hoping it would be shorter, but it wasn't. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Leave a comment down below. Give me suggestions if you have any. If you want to see something different in the city, I'm always open to suggestions. And yeah, I will see you guys soon with the next Grimoire episodes or Grimoire growth series. Thank you very much for watching, and cheers.